Good evening. My name is Matt Stromecki. And I'm doing a personal lecture on academic achievement in African American males for HD 1170. My student ID number is 2443089, and my net ID is MES338. To introduce the topic, African American males lag behind particularly whites and other ethnic groups in school achievement, including African American females. This has been well documented in popular culture, including movies and TV shows. The scope of the issue applies mostly to African American males, but African American males' poor academic performance affects broader ethnic groups and the school system overall. Speaking from my personal experiences, I attended a high school of over 3,000 students with over 40% African American students. The poor performance of African American students affected those with whom they associated and brought down the academic quality of the school, who was forced to use extra resources and didn't necessarily see the results as often. On a theoretical basis, this gap between African American males and other students persists for several main areas. The first of these is cultural attributes. African American culture tends not to value academics as highly as athletics, success in popular culture, or other avenues. This leads African American males to have lower social acceptability when GPA is higher, as we learned in lecture on Tuesday. Another important area is stereotype threat. Developed by Claude Steele in the early 80s, stereotype threat essentially means that African American males put pressure on themselves to perform well in school in order to negate this stereotype, and therefore perform less well than they may be able to. Also, a self-fulfilling prophecy occurs, as African Americans think, because of their stereotypes, that they are unable to perform as well in school, and therefore do not perform as well. A third major area is the social organization of schools. From my personal experiences, my high school had enough African American students where they began to affect, the low academic performance began to affect each other's performances. Schools with a higher concentration of African American students, often in urban areas, perform less well than do schools with a smaller concentration. The fourth avenue is social acceptability, which ties into cultural attributes. African American students with a higher GPA are less socially acceptable to their peers, encouraging poor academic performance. The current state of thinking on the issue is that the gap between African American students and other students is undeniable. And there's been more of a focus on solutions rather than trying to explain away the problems at hand. Government programs like Teach for America and affirmative action have attempted to encourage African American achievement and shrink the education gap to a measured degree of success to this point, with a bright outlook for the future. On an empirical basis, there have been several studies done in the 90s and into the 2000s that attempt to quantitatively and qualitatively illustrate the impact of African American low achievement, and to just establish that it happens at all. Leak in 1992 found that in Chicago high schools, only 3% of African American students had over a 3.0 GPA on a 4.0 scale, and 75% were below their school averages. This is a quantitative proof that African American students struggle. Chicago is a major urban area, and this phenomenon has been known to happen in New York, DC, Los Angeles, and other important cities. Blunt and Cunningham in 1996 found that negative portrayal of black males in popular culture decreases student confidence in high schools. Whether through music, movies, or television, African American males are generally viewed as problem children and as less apt for academic performance. This is carried over into the school. Carter in 2003 found that black male school disengagement starts as early as kindergarten and increases throughout high school. This leads to higher high school dropout rates, extremely low performance in high school, and generally low preparedness for college-level work. And the U.S. Department of Education found in 1993 that African American males have the same reading levels as African American females, but lower academic confidence. This lower academic confidence leads them to participate less in class, pursue fewer academic avenues, and generally struggle more beginning in kindergarten and increasing through high school. The gaps in knowledge in African American performance in high schools are not great. Many of the causes are known, and solutions have been attempted. The true gap in knowledge, though, is the creation of solutions. How to increase confidence in African American male students so that they may perform on the same level as even African American females, but on a more broader scale, as well as students from other ethnic groups, particularly Asians and whites. The significance of the African American struggle among males in high schools is essentially that success in academics can be boiled more down to non-cognitive factors than cognitive factors. African American males and females are on the same level when it comes to reading level, yet African American females outperform males strictly because of academic confidence and other non-cognitive factors. To portray it on a broader adolescent scale, adolescents are more affected by non-cognitive personal factors in their school performance in high school, so far as it pertains to graduating from high school and achieving reasonably good grades. They're more affected by outside factors than they are by actual schooling itself or their own cognitive abilities. For future research, researchers should learn to understand how to increase academic confidence in students, how to get them to participate more, to pursue more academic endeavors, and to generally feel as though they have the opportunity to succeed at all avenues. Overcoming stereotype threat is a broad thing that may never happen, but increasing the academic confidence of African American males is a feasible goal that could create a situation in which they perform much better and even just up to their cognitive abilities. This has been my personal lecture. I would like to thank you for listening.